So Adventurecraft is a pretty big deal, and it's an inspiration for Spawned Engine. This is something that I will want to recreate in its entirety, or try to rival its power. And rather than trying to directly destroy or outcompete Minecraft, I think Adventurecraft is actually more important to outcompete because of what it has allowed players to do is scripting. It has allowed to do scripting before command blocks were even a thing. And those command blocks that Minecraft introduced, I mean, they're pretty trash if you can only use one line of code. And that line of code is highly changed from regular, languages, regular coding languages. It's just a little bit of a mess of what Minecraft introduced as scripting. When even not just Cryect, the creator of Adventurecraft, but also another guy who has created a hack and mine. If you have played Hack and Mine back in the day, it's a RPG, or Minecraft turned into an RPG, which is incredibly fun. I mean, I've tried to do the same formula by creating Spawn the Creeper's Forge, which is basically me slapping on top of Minecraft a bunch of rewarding skills. You basically dig, you're getting experience, you mine, you're getting experience, and you can sell what you get to a trader, and this way you progress from one level to another. That was the idea of the game. That was Spawn the Creeper's Forge, the map that I made in Adventurecraft, of all things. And this is why I need to recreate Adventurecraft in order to, create anything substantial. I need a proper engine. And it's just so kind of annoying that Adventurecraft flew under the radar. And the scripting system, which was, the most powerful thing that Adventurecraft had, also died with it. And Mojang didn't really found Adventurecraft, or rather try to implement API, a modding API, which already existed. I would say Adventurecraft had the potential to become as big as Steam, as big as YouTube, as big as Facebook, all these platforms, or like Instagram, all these platforms where you create something and you share with other people. It's just simple as that. Minecraft by itself doesn't really have that platform. Microsoft tried to, provide it, but I mean, it's not like free content. You have to buy it. And such platform, I don't think is very healthy for the community in a way. Like, most of the content has to be freely available, or at least you can at least get certain maps for free, which will be constantly updated as full-fledged games, basically. And you can invest in those maybe through microtransactions, like simple things like that. Microsoft shouldn't have treated them as, I mean, I'm not sure if that's possible, because you cannot do microtransactions for servers. I guess that can be worked around when it comes to smaller projects like maps. Yeah, I mean, Microsoft doesn't really realize that as well. The ability just to give people free content, get them engaged with their engine, with their platform, and slowly build this new YouTube-size thing where you don't necessarily watch videos, but you play maps as your entertainment. And I think all of this opportunity is just kind of out there. I mean, maybe it will be developed eventually. Maybe we're going to see a breakthrough of Minecraft. But for me personally, I'm going to try and outcompete that as as best as I can, because there's still a niche. If I'm able to get up there, I'm still gonna get those players making maps. Except now it's gonna be in Unity. I think Unity is a little bit more superior than Java, but who knows? Who knows how it's gonna work out? I mean, now because YouTube itself is getting pretty decent competition on itself, which is cryptocurrency. It's a decentralized YouTube platforms that are gonna try and out-compete YouTube. So we'll see how it's all gonna work out in the end. Like, I cannot really from the top of my head say how a decentralized system for map sharing would work. Basically, the idea is simple, right? It's like you have a cryptocurrency that kind of governs the entire website and rewards people for posting videos. There's not really much of in terms of advertisement, but maybe more in terms of investors investing into the cryptocurrency itself. And as people are getting more, maybe there's going to be advertisements, maybe there's going to be some products that you can buy out of specifically using that cryptocurrency. So I'm not sure how it's going to evolve, but it's going that direction in a way, because all these big companies prove themselves to be unreliable and screw the algorithms, screw up all these things eventually, and just stick with their mistakes as if nothing really happened. And at the same time, those big corporations have the possibility to steal data and test people for how they can manipulate them. It's just there's plenty of potential for corruption as well. So again, I'm still kind of sad that Adventurecraft went away. I'm still gonna carry the legacy. The scripting system in Minecraft should have been a lot better. I'm not sure why it's not like this, like the frizzle type of where right in the, you just make a command block, you write multiple lines of code, no problems with that. So that's kind of weird. Why it's not like this? Why cannot you just have 4 functions where it repeats the function as well? It is so hard to set up in Minecraft, and it's also laggy as well. So it just makes no sense, right? To run all these commands through command blocks. And yet it could have been the best thing ever for Minecraft. But at the same time, again, Adventurecraft had both map making system and the scripting system all in one package. It also became a standalone thing, but because it was dependent on Minecraft, it couldn't really run. It's like creating a wonderful car, but you still need some kind of engine from another car to borrow that engine. So it's just such a weird thing that happened with Adventurecraft, and obviously because Minecraft kept updating, Adventurecraft eventually died. And now I have to pretty much take revenge for what happened. Now, the first project, as I've said, is going to be spawn the field of creepers. It's kind of like a legacy of the first map that I made in Adventurecraft. I will first try defeating Adventurecraft by creating a good map that is better than what I've already created in the past. It shouldn't be too hard to do because my map wasn't really that great. It was fun in a way that you can grind things, you can feel rewarded. It's just a cookie clicker mechanic that's engaging. Again, it's just me slapping RPG elements on top of Minecraft, and it works fairly well. It's what Spawn the Creepers Forge lacked is monsters, for example. is a sense of threat or sense of difficulty. Because if you just grind stuff, it doesn't really engage people with a sense of, the creepers are coming and you have to really prepare yourself to survive what is happening and try to actually conquer the game eventually, going to that next area. Now, I thought I might just touch on Puzzle Quest a little bit, because it was a pretty cool thing as well. Because my first project is going to be involving a puzzle. So if I ever wanted to tell what is the best puzzle game that I played, it would be the Puzzle Quest. And Puzzle Quest actually had 2 other installments called Puzzle Quest 2 and Gems of War. The Gems of War is more multiplayer based, while Puzzle Quest is purely single player based game. And so it just had a wonderful formula as well. I guess I'll just gonna finish with Adventurecraft rather than talk about Puzzle Quest. But again, is the best puzzle game. I don't really want to steal mechanics in its entirety, as well as I don't want to create another card game as I could. So I'll just gonna take Minesweeper mechanics and try to figure out if any kind of puzzle can turn into its own RPG style game. Because it seems like, yeah, just like you can slap RPG elements on Minecraft, you can slap RPG elements on a puzzle, and all of a sudden that puzzle becomes like really interesting to play because you can grind something and get rewarded for it. You have some general activities, and if you outcompete in a puzzle war against your opponent, just like playing Tetris against your opponent, and that is fun. So almost any sort of puzzle would probably do, including Minesweeper. Now, Minesweeper seems like more of a meme thing to try and use it as a PvP game for sure. So it's more like a exploratory game, which I'm gonna just remind people that I've made Spawn the Creeper's Forge, and you just explore and collect resources from unique locations, right, which are gonna be fairly easy to put together because of the wonderful editing system that I'll gonna make in the first few months. And again, I have to first put my engine together, and then for the rest 3 months I'm gonna be making the actual game. So that's kind of the idea of how I'm gonna be using the time. But again, Adventurecraft by itself sort of proves why Minecraft is dying. Because Minecraft's focus is supposed to be on implementing mods. Just like back in the day I made a Kickstarter, I've said the same thing. Because Minecraft doesn't really focus on implementing mods, it is killing itself. And I didn't really understood how powerful that message is, and that we will still struggle to understand how Minecraft is actually dying. Because it's not really dying, it's still the biggest thing that hasn't been, outcompeted or transformed into something that is a really too big to fail platform. Because right now, again, Minecraft is kind of like a game that interests people in general because it's so weird, right? It's just so weird, and people try to outcompete it. They don't really understand how to do that exactly. They can create a Minecraft clone, but they wouldn't really understand what is the core thing that Minecraft has been able to do so well. But from my perspective, I understand that Adventurecraft was a better version of Minecraft. So, and that has died. And so all I have to do is just bring it back up, and that will do it. That will defeat Minecraft eventually. This is my whole adventure of trying to defeat Minecraft. Everything's just, neatly put together. I think my first project is supposed to be a success. Like, even Slay the Spire, I mean, any puzzle game you can think of had a mild success one way or the other. So this is just a no-brainer for me, especially when roguelikes are also fairly attractive as well. So, and my game is definitely going to be a roguelike. I'll definitely going to make it really, really difficult, but it's going to have, various difficulties that you can choose, except you will not be able to complete the entire story if you choose a lower difficulty. You have to have the highest difficulty selected if you want to have the entire story given to you as a reward for your effort, right? Because then you can brag about it and you can share the ending with the rest of the people trying to complete the game. Obviously, if you cheat, which is fairly simple to do sometimes, and again, yes, you can break the game and like show the ending that way, but I don't know. I don't know how to counter that yet. That's a completely different problem for the future. So I thought just still gonna give you guys thoughts of why Adventurecraft, had so much potential, and it still has. I mean, if you create your own Adventurecraft, which I'm trying to do, I can actually get somewhere. We'll see. We'll see what happens next. See you guys next time on an actual update. Oh well.